But, like I said, it happens, and hopefully some kids can learn from it, but just don't get caught.
I'm down to dunk.
And I'm down to dunk. I'm down to dunk. This is J-Dub, and I'm down to dunk.
I'm Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, and I'm down to dunk.
This is Lindy Waters, and I'm down to dunk. I'm Mike Muscala, and I'm down to dunk.
This is Jay Will, and I'm down to dunk.
This is Kenneth Williams, and I'm down to dunk.
This is Lou Dort, and I'm down to dunk.
Will you say this is Lou Dort and I'm down to Dort?
This is Lou Dort, and I'm down to Dort.
Cracklin Oat Bran?
Have you had Cracklin Oat Bran?
No,
No. Okay.
but it's healthy.
Are you a big oat brand guy?
I'm a big Oat Bran guy.
Okay.
I think I would switch it with Fruity Pebbles.
Okay, eat faster. Don't put as much in the bowl.
You have a gallon of milk I can also take home.
You don't have milk at home?
One cinnamon toast.
Okay.
Crunch. Yeah. Cereal is great. Yeah.
Welcome to Down to Dunk. I'm your host, Andrew Schlecht. We're part of the Athletic Podcast Network. With me tonight, we're recording this on Thursday, September 21st. Just so you are aware, because maybe there's something that happened. Maybe we don't know about it because this is being recorded in the past. But this will release Monday as the first part of a two-part podcast with myself and Alex Speers and Michele Berra. Michele, what's up, guys?
Well, it's already Friday here, so I'm in the future.
Wow, you are in the future.
That's really cool. But you'll be in the past for whoever listens to this podcast.
Yeah, you're
So
still
not
in the
as
past.
cool.
Still
in
in
the
the
past.
I feel like there's a decent chance. I know we're not live on YouTube, but there's a decent chance. Wouldn't that be funny if the Dame trade broke while we are not live on YouTube? But people would get to see our live reactions like 4 days later.
I think it could happen.
That's what Gambo's saying.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw
John
Gam-
Gambadoro. What do you guys think about the idea of the Suns potentially getting involved by trading DeAndre Ayton for Yusuf Nurkic?
Why? I guess is like my overarching thought.
Well, Gambo
What's
said
the
that.
trade setup? Because I obviously don't know.
So there was a rumor that the Suns are open to facilitating a Dame deal, and then Gambo came out and talked about how Nurk could be a potential piece coming back to the Suns in exchange for Ayton because they've been interested in Nurkic in the past. They apparently think he's good defensively, and yeah.
That's a wild take. That's a bold prediction.
Yeah,
that is
Gambo is
truly
usually
bold.
good, right? He knows.
He definitely has sources.
Yeah. That would be weird to me. If that's what they did, that would be really weird. And I know like,
Depends on what
everybody's all
comes
over
back,
the map.
right?
Huh?
It depends on what else comes back.
Yeah, they'd have to get some kind of wing back in this deal. It can't just be Nurk for Ayton.
Well, if that goes the Brooklyn way, then it can be something that you actually do. Like you get Nurkic and
DFS or something.
Yeah. It's still gross to get DFS and Nurk for Aiden, but if it's something a little bit better, or if there is an asset, it's clear that the relationship there. It's clear. It can be that the relationship there is sour between the Suns and Aiden, and so if you know that you have to get a deal,
Yeah. I mean,
It also feels like if Ayton had a lot of value, he would have been traded by now.
yeah.
that's the issue. He doesn't have
Yeah.
value. I mean, we were discussing that like a year ago. Like, would you want to offer for like Aiden in general as a restricted free agent? And like the idea was no. Why?
Yeah. I mean, it seemed like Indy had some interest in him at some point, and like a Miles Turner for Aiden swap makes some sense for both teams.
We should probably stop talking about it, though, because it's probably going to happen between
already
now
happened.
and when the podcast
It
release.
It has already happened. We got to move on. Hey, should we start with some bold predictions?
Yeah. Do you have a drop?
Bold predictions.
Didn't you once upon a time have a drop?
Yeah, I did.
An explosion drop?
Bold predictions.
Do you guys want to start with OKC bold predictions or league-wide bold predictions?
Definitely OKC bold predictions. Before we go there, I want to revisit some bold predictions from last year, just to kind of just to give us like a feeling of like this is what a bold prediction feels like, or this is what a lukewarm prediction feels like. So here's a few examples. I have 3 examples. So here's the first one. I'll give you a bold take. I think Poku's going to shoot 39% from 3 this year.
That's just stupid.
Okay.
I believe in Poku. He looks stronger. He looks sturdier. What do you mean? What are you puffing?
He looks sturdier?
He does.
What does that have to do with anything?
Everything.
Did you push him?
Push him? No, I didn't push him. I did see him strolling down the hallway, though, and he looked pretty darn sturdy strolling down the hallway. I'm a believer.
How that correlates with 3-point percentage?
I just think he'll get on the court. I think he'll shoot the ball well. I just think he'll shoot the ball well. So I think that you gave me a Pocky chip. As far as the heat on that one, you guys were very mean to me after I said that one.
Well, what's crazy is you could have said 36%. We probably would have had somewhat of a similar reaction, and you would have gotten it right. Because jumping from, I mean, his first 2 seasons, 28%, 28.9%, predicting that he would jump 8 percentage points up to 36.5, like that's huge. But that wasn't good enough for you.
No,
you had to push it to 30.
I had to go bold. He was shooting like 40% for a large portion of the season, and I felt really good about it. But yeah, that was a shot in the dark that worked out. Here's another bold prediction from preseason last year.
SGA will be the only Thunder player to score more than 15 points per game.
The only one.
The only one.
Okay.
Now you might be saying to yourself, "Oh, that sounds pretty bold." Is it? The only other player who did it last year was Lou Dort, who averaged 17 a game.
Yep.
I'm betting on there being more scorers on this team now, both with Trey Mann playing more minutes and with J-Dub and Giddey potentially taking more scoring. I could see them having like 4 guys all within 12 to 14 points per game, and Shea being the lone guy out there at 25 points per game.
I think that this is jalapeno. This is the most likely scenario.
Yeah, I would agree.
Come on.
Yeah, that's not bold.
Yes.
What?
Yeah, that's not bold at all, actually.
I'm betting on Lou.
That's an L-man lukewarm take is what that is.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That's
so there's a lukewarm take. There was only 2 players that did that, SGA and Josh Giddey were the 2.
Seems like it was pretty bold of me to suggest that only one would do it.
Still not bold today. It was so close to being true for the entire year.
And here's one more before we get into our current bold predictions.
And he has, we're assuming, okay, I'm going to go to my second bold take because it's related.
Okay.
OKC will finish top half in 3-point percentage.
Whoa. Okay. That is
okay.
Pocky. That is like 2 or 3 Pockies.
Okay. Here's
Explain.
the case.
Yeah.
I don't understand.
First of all, top half.
So top half of the league in 3-point percentage. There were other ones where Michele predicted that Russell Westbrook would be an all-star again. I think that we called that pretty spicy.
That was so stupid.
I think that was like Pocky nachos or something.
I also like the boldest Trey Mann prediction, which clearly jinxed his entire season. So
yeah, we had a lot of Trey Mann hype before last season. That didn't go so well.
Now, similar to your Poku prediction, I'm counting that last one as a win because they finished 17th.
Yeah,
so close.
Yeah, that's a win.
Yeah.
The spirit of the bold prediction did come true, even though it did not literally come true. They did get much better at shooting threes.
Yeah.
They did.
But not for the reasons, if you had played it further, the reasons that I gave were not Isaiah Joe, which actually was the reason.
Yeah, I was going to say it was primarily Isaiah Joe. And gosh, who else like really helped? Moose, Lindy,
Henrich.
J Dub.
Yeah,
helped some.
Yeah. Dub helped a little.
Yeah.
Also, Shea was a bit better.
Yeah, Shea was better. That did help. Yeah, it's funny, like the guys that shot the highest percentage last year, Isaiah Joe obviously at 40%, Jay Will at 40%, Baisley shot 40% from three, but only on 45 attempts. Muscala, Wiggins, Sharich, Kenrich. Like that's the cast of characters. A lot of those guys are gone. They're going to need the guys that are on the team to shoot better this year.
Yeah, but they got players that can shoot the basketball. I mean, Mitsic can clearly shoot the basketball.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he was like 40%.
Hey, don't spoil. I have a bold prediction coming up related to 3-point shooting.
Come
so
on.
Let's just jump into it.
Okay.
Let's jump into it. All right.
Okay.
First, let's establish the scale first. Reestablish the scale.
The scale is bell pepper.
Yeah,
that's
bell
like
pepper.
Most lukewarm.
There's no heat.
No heat. Jalapeno, like barely
bit.
any heat, but you could eat it whole.
Yeah.
Oh, can I stop you for a second on a jalapeno?
Mm-hmm.
I made this weekend
Mm.
a jam / jelly / whatever of jalapeno and bell pepper that you can put on cheese, which is insane.
Wow, that sounds really good.
It's so great. I mean, I'm having it every single day. It's
what gives it the jelly consistency? Is there a fruit in it?
Is there fruit?
no, it's you put sugar in it.
It's just sugar and peppers?
Yeah,
Hmm.
it's not like jelly. It's more, I don't know how it called it.
Like a relish?
I don't know, something that it's sugar and fruit, and instead of the fruit you put the peppers, which technically are fruits. So
Is that true?
yeah, of course.
Peppers are
Just
fruits.
Wait,
Yeah, sure. What? Like,
peppers are fruits.
of course,
Peppers are fruits?
like tomatoes are fruits.
Well, I know
guys.
tomatoes are fruits, but I didn't know bell peppers were fruits. What?
I have not heard this. This is a bold take.
Yeah, these are like stuff with seeds and pulp that are growing from a plant. So technically, those are fruits, right?
Yeah. Are bell peppers a fruit or vegetable? It's a fruit since they grow out of a flower and contain seeds. Bell peppers are actually classified as fruits.
Wow.
Of course. Come on, guys.
From
That's science.
chefsforkids.org.
Oh, don't. You're on chefsforkids.org. They're everyone knows they're liars. I refuse to allow my son to go on chefsforkids.org.
Jalapeno is a fruit.
That's
Of course.
propaganda.
All the peppers.
From balconygardenweb.com.
The definition is they have to grow out from flowers, having pulp and seeds, which they clearly have.
I am having to reevaluate a lot of things in my life. Okay, so bell pepper, jalapeno, habanero,
ghost pepper,
Pocky
and then
chip.
Pocky.
Yeah. Did they take those off the market because someone died? Is that true?
That I don't know.
I will say I have not seen them at my local establishment recently.
Yeah, I don't
We had like 5 peppers last year or 4.
I think we had those 5.
We had 5. Yeah.
Okay.
And to be clear, I actually think Pocky might be a ghost pepper chip, but you snort it in this case. So it's a little different. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So we're starting with Thunderbolt takes.
Thunderbolt takes. What you got?
I'll start. I'm going to start with, I've ordered mine in what I believe is their heat order.
Uh-huh.
And I'm going to read them in that order to see if you guys will agree or not. Number 1, SGA, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, will have a 50-40-90 season.
Come on, Alex. I have the
Is that one of
same.
yours? There you go. Well, if we both said it, it must not be very bold. Basically, the idea here is he already did the 50-90 last year.
Did the 59.
So you're really just betting on him getting back to some semblance of 3-point shooting that we've seen in the past.
Is there a like minimum number of attempts that you're
No, not at all
envisioning with
Nope.
this?
Doesn't matter. I mean, you can't go back on number of attempts now because like historically the guys who have hit 50, 40, 90, some of those were only taking a couple threes.
Yeah,
per
I'm not
game.
saying that it has to be a lot. I'm just curious your thought on that.
I mean, like when KD did it, he hit he attempted 4 threes per game.
Yeah, KD never took that many threes. Still doesn't.
Yeah, but Shea was even lower last season. Like,
Yeah,
so
Shea was
even
good
get
too.
to 4.
4 would be good.
40%
Four,
would be
four is would be a good number for Shea this year.
Yeah.
My thinking on it was like you will have hopefully a little bit more of shot creation and a little bit more space. And so you might see Giddy giving Shea a little bit more of spot up attempts, so Mitsic and maybe J-Dub growing in a more playmaking role. So I said, well, if Shea has a good season, it's not out of the like it is hard because going from a 31.5 or whatever it was in 2021, 2022 to 35 and then going to 40, it's going to be difficult. So if you say like 36%, I think that is probably what will happen. So a little bit of an improvement. If he goes there, that is probably game changing for OKC.
Yeah.
Okay, so since that was both of our bold predictions, we shared it. Andrew, you get to judge it.
I think that it's habanero. I think it's pretty spicy.
Ooh,
Just
okay.
for him to get back to shooting above 40%. I mean, I think that if he did that, I think the Thunder would be a lot better if he actually executed that. And it kind of bleeds into my bold prediction that Shea will win the MVP this year. If he did that, I think he could win the MVP.
Yeah.
You think he could, or you were saying he will, Andrew?
Bold prediction, Shea will win the MVP this year.
I would give that a Pocky.
Yeah.
Just because that's extremely hard to do. It would require not just Shea having an incredible year, which he did last year.
Yeah, he did.
It would require the Thunder probably being the first or second seed because there's going to be a lot of people who want to give Jokic the MVP that they feel he deserved last year, this year. And as long as he has a normal Jokic year, it is very likely that he will win the award. So they would need, the Thunder would probably need to be ahead of the Nuggets.
Mm-hmm. Which I think in the scenario where he is the MVP, that it's possible. So there we go.
I can see the Nuggets not being the number 1 seed next year because Jokic has a year where he just doesn't care and plays like maybe 60, 55 games.
Then he couldn't win the MVP.
Yeah,
Actually,
exactly.
not.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Maybe that's how it happens.
So I can see a season where, they are maybe the 3 seed. I don't see the Thunder jumping then, but I still see that as a possibility, like that Jokic is. Yeah, it's good, but it's not MVP. Maybe Jamal has a better season. Finally, Jamal being an all-star, which I think is going to happen. So,
yeah, first-time all-star, Jamal Murray.
Yeah.
I don't know like what percentage I believe that this could happen, but I do think that it's in the realm of possibilities where like last year, you have to remember like where we were last year with Shea going into the season was like, could he, like the bold prediction would have been all-star, And I think, and maybe we're getting a little bit over our skis here with predictions like this. But I do think that we're headed closer towards Shea being legitimately thought of as like one of the top 3 best players in the league in the next few years. And it could be as soon as this year. I just think that he's got the mentality. He's got the game. He's very well-rounded. And the dude...
And he does have like media support. Like
Oh my
you,
gosh,
you
yeah.
very rarely see negative things from like national people. Now you'll see like random fans calling him like a free throw merchant or whatever, but
Yeah.
like in terms of national media, he basically has like 100% approval rating.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also about the free throws, like, oh, sorry. Even the KD MVP season, you remember like the rip through move? That was how he was so efficient in that amazing stretch that he had for OKC.
Definitely.
Like getting to the line and mastering that is number one thing for every great player. That play like the guard wing position, maybe not for centers, but even for like guys like Embiid and Jokic, getting to the line is important. So they are not maybe they don't generate contacts in the same way. But again, for wings, I think it's something that you say to anybody basically.
Wow. So we start off with a habanero and a pocky, snorting a pocky. Michele, do you want to lead off round 2?
Yeah, I'm trying to decide when drop the bomb, so I'll probably leave it for last, and I will go with my second boldest probably. And OKC will have 4 players at the All-Star weekend.
At the All-Star weekend. Okay.
So J-Dub can still be rising stars. Chet could be rising stars. Shea would be
I didn't
all-star.
I didn't think about the J-Dub.
All-Star.
No, that's not so bold. I didn't count J-Dub, so I should say 5.
Who would be the 4th though? I mean, like, what would Giddey? Because he wouldn't be rising stars at this point.
No,
he could. You think he's going to be the All-Star? Make an All-Star game?
The bold prediction is to have the 2 rookies going there as rookies.
Oh,
Kaysen and Chet. And
an Oos?
No.
Mitic?
And 2 All-Stars.
Oh, Mitic?
2 All-Stars for real.
Who are the 2 All-Stars?
I don't know, Shea and J-Dub.
Now that we're talking about it, now I actually think there's going to be 4 Thunder players in the Rising Stars competition.
Yeah, no, I framed it. Now that I see that, I framed it a little bit in a wrong way. My point is, bold prediction would be OKC having 2 real All-Star at this point, because I like the All-Star weekend opens too many like ways to get there.
I think that's pretty bold. That's pretty bold.
Especially you said it on the podcast on Monday.
Huh?
You said it on the podcast on Monday, basically.
Then I thought he'd be an All-Star this year. I didn't say that this year.
Yeah.
I mean, I like him a lot. I just don't know that he can do it this year.
I mean, if Shea's going to win the MVP, again, they would have to be like a 1 or 2 seed. And if they are 1 or 2 seed, the chances of them having a second All-Star goes up significantly.
Yeah.
But in the West, I think that's Pocky.
That's Pocky.
Yeah.
It would have to be such a huge jump from J.
In reality,
or Giddey.
I was trying to cheat and having the All-Star weekend thing, because in the end it could have been like Bertans going at the 3-point shooting competition, and that would have been like a way of cheating. But this rising star and rookie thing just messed up completely.
Yeah, because I mean they could easily have 3 guys in that.
Yeah,
you could have 4 if Oos is playing.
Yeah, exactly. Like it can
Oos
be
is loose.
So it should be like at least 6 players at the All-Star weekend, which is like
half the roster is involved in the All-Star weekend.
Yeah. Like I can really think Bertans like going at the 3-point shooting is actually something that can happen.
Well, they at this point they have to bring Isaiah Joe. Like if he has another season like he did last year and he doesn't get asked again.
Yeah.
That's just rude at a certain point.
And he wants to do it. So let the man shoot.
Okay, I'm still not to my crazy ones, although this one you'll probably think is crazy too. Josh Giddey will attempt over 300 free throws this season. And as a point of reference, he attempted 145 last year. So he is doubling his free throws.
Double his horrendously low free throw rate.
Shut up. No. If you do the math,
I think this is jalapeno.
It would be 3.65 attempts per game, assuming he played 82 games.
Wait, how many is it?
It would be 3.6
But what's the total?
over 300 in the season. So he was like at 1.9 last year, I think, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
So you think that's jalapeno?
I think that the rate of free throws was really off compared to the driving rate. So I think this is actually natural. Like this is something that happens to young players in the league, where especially if you are a certain kind of player, maybe not super athletic, maybe not super strong, it's hard to get free throws. But as soon as you get into the, oh, we should pay attention to this kind of thing with the refs, it's going to be up. And it goes up pretty quickly. So I think that this is the year where like Giddy will learn how to use his body a little bit better. We already seen flashes of that last year. And so as soon as you start getting calls, it's going to be, it's not going up linearly. It's going from like 1.9 to 5, 4.5, something like that in a year, I think. Maybe this is not the year where it happens, but I guess that the improvement on that stat will not be linear for Josh Giddey. And I think that OKC wants him to be that kind of player, the player who grabs and goes. So he'll have like 8, 9 driving attempts. And the way he played in the World Cup and in parts last season at the end of the year, to me, is actually conducive to getting more free throws.
I think it's bold. I think it's habanero bold.
Oh, okay.
There were only 48 players in the league that shot 300 or more free throws last year.
Yeah, but look at the driving numbers.
It's just not very many players. I know. I just need to see it to believe it with Josh in the NBA.
I think it is exciting to think about those top 4 guys with Chet and J-Dub. Like all of them have the potential to be guys who can get to the line.
Yeah.
Because they are all physical. And Chet has that like weird KD thing where his like body's just so weird. He can get matched up on guys who just don't know how to defend him and can get some easy fouls. Like if his handle gets to a decent spot, I feel like he will learn some tricks to be able to get to the line pretty easily. So if you had all 4 of those guys eventually down the road, all being confident about getting to the line, like what a miserable team to have to play.
Yeah, it would be miserable. You know, DeJounte Murray only took 190 free throws last year.
Embarrassing.
With 74 games.
What's he doing out
not
there?
Attacking
That's
the basket.
wild.
It's a mid-range kind of play, which is
Josh Okogie took more free throws than DeJounte Murray last year.
yeah.
Would have never guessed that nor looked it up.
Isn't that weird?
Do you have the count of Malcolm Brogdon?
I mean, not. I'm just looking at the big list, so I don't have it off the top of my dome. But if I find it, I will shout it out during the podcast here.
I'm reading now. The Pocky One Chip Challenge was pulled from shelves out of abundance of caution following the death of a teenager whose family said he had died after eating one.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
Yeah, that's not great. Not great. Okay. My next bold take is, let's see. J-Dub will have at least one, but maybe multiple 5x5s.
I mean, it's Packy. It does not happen. People love to pick guys who they think could get it, but it just never happens.
I think
Never,
J-Dub
ever,
could get
ever
a 5x5. He's got the steals. We've seen him be a pretty decent shot blocker from the wing. And obviously, like, points, rebounds, assists. Like, we know he can do all of that. So, he had a ton of steals last year. It's just the blocks. Like, can he get to the blocks? I don't know that he can get to the blocks.
And he get multiple times. Like, doing it once is probably something that you say, okay.
Yeah, wait, did you say he would do multiple ones?
Yeah, I think it is Like
older.
What?
Yeah, that's. I mean, if you say once, it is still very high.
Okay. Okay, once. I'll tamper it down a little bit once.
It's just getting like block and steal at the same time. It's very hard to get.
Do you all know
hard.
who the last player who got a 5x5 was?
Mm-mm.
First of all, there's only been 21 in NBA history, and 6 of those were Hakeem.
Okay.
Do you know who the last person who did it in 2019? We've already talked about him on this podcast.
Wow.
Mm-mm.
Is it KD?
Yusuf Nurkic.
Nurkic?
Oh, weird.
With
It's
turnovers?
really weird.
So weird.
He had 24, 23, 7 assists, 5 steals, 5 blocks. Before him,
Wow.
it was Anthony Davis, Draymond Green, Nicholas Batum, Kirilenko, and then you're all the way back at like 2004.
Yeah.
Kirilenko did it 3 times.
Kirilenko was awesome. He would have been great in this league.
Yeah.
He's ahead of his time, Andre Kirilenko. Yeah, I mean, J-Dub got over 5 steals multiple times last season, and the blocks is going to be tough, guys. It's going to be tough to get there.
Kirilenko had a game 14, 8, 9, 6, 7.
That's unreal.
He was an amazing shot blocker. Like he was just insanely good.
Yeah, this is getting bolder by the second. He only had 2 blocks, was the most.
Can I say something very stupid? I think it's more likely that Chet does it in the next 3 years than J-Dub does. Because with Chet, I can see him having like 5 steals, 5 blocks.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
He can get there. Like
yeah, Chet is like both Chet and Wemby are 5x5 candidates for sure.
Yeah.
Maybe I should have said Chet. The closest he got.
Too late.
The closest he actually never got close at all. So I'll stop.
But hey, maybe it happens. Like maybe.
Also, the other thing is, you look at the 21 games. There was only one guy, I would guess, under like 6'8", who did it.
Yeah,
and it was Jamal Tinsley. Somehow got 5 blocks in a game.
Wow,
Jamal Tinsley. Wow. How many years he played in the NBA? Did he play in Europe? Why I think he played in Europe.
He probably did.
Yeah, I think
just
so.
loved to hoop. Just played in Europe till he was 50. I don't know.
So Andrew's starting off with 2 Pockies. Wow. Hey, congrats to us for not doing any lukewarm.
Hey, so far nothing lukewarm.
Okay, maybe this will be the one. Lou Dort will lose the starting gig by the end of January.
Okay,
in
so
favor of Isaiah Joe or Kenny or Usman Jang.
It's bold. It's bold.
Okay. One of mine was Usman Jang will be in the starting lineup by the end of the year.
Whoa, those are both very bold.
Yeah, then it's the same. I mean, do you see?
It's kind of the same thing. I mean, but mine, it could happen in different ways. Like mine, J-Dub could get hurt, and all of a sudden Jang's like the obvious replacement, maybe.
Yeah.
Whereas in Michele's scenario, it has to be because Dort is subbed out.
Yeah.
So yours is actually more bold than mine.
That my thinking is
fewer pathways.
At some point, I was looking through stats yesterday, and I mean, if you look at the post All-Star game numbers are just so bad, so bad efficiency wise. For some weird reason that I cannot comprehend, I tried to look at every number that I could. Lou Dort is one of the least efficient players, and the effective field goal when he's on the court is terrible for the Thunder, but somehow they have a good offensive rating when he's on the court. So I don't know how to parse it in my mind. They also have a bad defensive rating when he's on the court, and I don't know. Somehow I think that at some point some guy will be just seamless with the starters, and that guy might not be Isaiah Joe because of the size and stuff like that. But if Kenny has a good season, I can see them saying, okay, we can't lose minutes over this. Dort can start off the bench and be the guy who basically does the Marcus Smart thing, where you have a guy that is hot on the other side, you put Dort on him for 10 minutes, and you are good to go.
Yeah, I mean that's bold for sure. It's bold.
I don't feel like it's Pocky though. Like I think Ghost Pepper, because it's not out of the realm of possibility. Like we always talk about how talented and deep this team is, and how they're full of all these young guys who we think have super high ceilings.
Mm-hmm.
One of those guys hits, and you have to make a decision, and the easiest decision would be Dort.
And to me, it's not even about the others. I think it's about him. I think it's not about
trying to be nice.
No, I'm not saying that he's a bad player or that he averages less minutes in total. Wow. Okay, for a second, I thought that something was really happening on this side of the planet. And anyway, I think that Lou Dort, he is better suited with certain lineups, and the one that have Giddy on it's not maybe the best lineup where he can be successful. So
the Dort fans are firing at Michele, trying to take him down.
That's I mean, I think that efficiency is the single most important thing that a role player need to have in order to be successful. Okay.
They're getting louder. They're getting closer. They're outside the door.
So yeah. Also saying that Jang will be efficient is a pipe dream, but that is
okay. Andrew, you tell us, what is bolder, that Lou Dort will lose his starting spot by January, or that Usman Jang will be in the starting lineup by the end of the year?
Are you? And you're not. I mean, who would sit? I guess it would be Dort in both situations, right?
No, not necessarily. Mine leaves open the door. Somebody could get injured. Like that's very realistic. They were very healthy. No, it's not cheating.
That's totally
also, as long as he starts one game, I am technically correct. So I have a lot of outs with mine.
No. So if he starts a random game, it doesn't count because he said by the end of the season, meaning that he has a chunk of games where he starts.
No, if he starts the last game of the season, I win.
Technically, if that is the take, then it's actually bell pepper because OKC can really punt the last game and Jang could start. I mean, the starting lineup for the last game last season was, I think, different. So if you set at minimum games, like 5 games, that will be actually spicy anyway, even with injuries. But we have to set like boundaries.
I'll say 5 straight games, 5 consecutive games.
Okay, then it's actually hot.
Yeah,
It's bold.
I think the Jang one is probably bolder, just because I mean, his shooting splits last season.
I don't want to hear. I don't want to hear.
40.
I'm being positive here.
42, 26, 60.
He played like 200 minutes or something stupid. I don't care.
So you're saying it's more likely that like Dort is benched than like Jang starting 5 games, and you call me
very surprising,
a hater?
Andrew. That's very surprising of you, Andrew. You're always defending Dort.
I would be more surprised. I would be more surprised if Jang became like a starting level player this year. Then
that is not what the prediction says, though. It's just Jang is in a starting unit for at least 5 games.
He would have to. No. That's not the way.
Jay Will started. Jay Will.
Yeah, seriously.
Was starting games, and he was clearly not a starting level player.
Yeah, we all know the circumstances that surrounded that, though.
There's going to be.
Looking at the starting lineup now, it would be more surprising to me that Jang just like was so good that they would have to start him than if like Casey Wallace or Mitsic or somebody else was able to like, hey, listen, or Isaiah Joe or I don't know, Aaron Wiggins or somebody like that. You know, like there are a lot of different guys that I think you could put in that place before you mention Jang.
I think Kenny, like in
Kenneth
this
Williams,
scenario,
obviously, yes.
in this scenario, it's a wing that is out for some reason, or maybe multiple wings.
Yeah.
Then you can think of starting a guy like Jeng. I think that in some scenario, this is also, hey, let's see, Jeng is showing some improvements, and maybe he has like an okay part of this season, and let's just try to start him again and see what happens. I don't think that it has to be great, but there were stretches last year where he looked like a guy that can step on the floor and not create any damage.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying that he doesn't have a future in the league or anything. I would just be very surprised if he was ready now. That's all.
Yeah.
I would love to be surprised. Surprise me. That'd be great.
Andrew, what's your next one?
My next bold prediction is that Chet Holmgren will lead the league in blocks per game. Triple J led the league with 3 per game last year.
Is there a qualifier on number of games?
On number of games?
Well,
55.
55.
Okay.
I would say habanero.
Wow.
Maybe a bit more.
Maybe a particularly spicy habanero pepper.
Yeah. I had in my extra prediction something that is close to that. I think that Chet will get first team all defense votes. Which, if you are the best shot blocker in the league, you probably get.
Yeah. These go hand in hand for sure.
Yeah.
As far as bold takes go,
Should have gone with that one instead of the 4 players at the All-Star thing.
I just don't know if it's that bold. Like, realistically, what do you think he will average? Like, if you take away your prediction,
2.3.
2.5.
Yeah, like 2.5. Like, I'm already at 2.5.
Yeah.
And we know he's going to have games where he has like 5 to 7 blocks in a game. I mean, we've already seen games like that.
We don't know
we do.
that.
Yes, we do.
Blocks in a game?
I'm sure he did. I actually don't know. It sounds
Summer
like
League,
something
he probably
did. Let me see.
Yeah, but to do it over 55 games is not like, sure, he will do it. Like, averaging 3.5 is
okay.
not easy.
He had 5 in a game.
Yeah,
that's pretty good.
That is good,
and that's 2 away from 7. So
yeah,
pretty close.
It's pretty close.
He had 6 blocks last year in Summer League.
Yeah. He regressed.
So this is what I'm saying. Yeah, he did.
Well, he definitely regressed from like the first Summer League to the second one. Like in the first one, he was
the
like
very first game.
Well,
yeah.
Who was that he played against in that Utah game?
Memphis.
No, it wouldn't have been
Memphis
Memphis.
is the second one because he got.
Who was the player though?
Manhandled by somebody. Was it Namias Keita that he played against? Was it the Kings?
Kings. Yeah, they were white.
I don't remember. It was somebody big. Maybe it wasn't Keita, but it was somebody big that he played against, and he just destroyed them because he just got them into space, and they couldn't keep up with them.
Yeah.
But the most impressive one to me was the first game against Houston in Vegas, where he didn't have like a particularly great game. In the first half, it was like just not good, and then he was playing the 4, and then in the second half, it was just swatting shots left and right to Tyrese and whoever. He had a block on Tyrese that was insane. It was just, hey, play me 1-on-1 and I just destroy you.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, going to 3.5, I mean, on one end, it seems, yeah, he can do it. But like doing it for the entire season, it's not really easy. Like there will be games where he's just in foul trouble and like stuff like that. So I think it's bold to say 3.5 and being like all defense type of guy in year 1. That is a tall task.
The thing is, it doesn't have to be 3.5. Like Jaren Jackson Jr. had 3 last year, and before that 2.3, and then 1.6 before that. So like Jaren Jackson could regress a little bit. He could have a perfectly good season at like 2.8.
Yeah.
And maybe Chet only needs 3
It-
blocks per game.
They played Utah in this game, and one of the centers was Taco Fall.
Who was
All
the other
right.
one?
I can't pick out who it is. Maybe it's Adoka Azubuike.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I think it was Azubuike.
But yeah, he was. Chet was so good, and I forgot that like Poku played in this game, and Jang played in this game, and Josh Giddey played in this game, and J-Dub played in this game.
Yeah.
It's like the most stacked summer league roster maybe ever.
And Chet was so much better than anybody else.
He was
Like,
so good.
It was not really close. It was,
Yeah,
hey,
he's-
I'm just dominating this game with my shot and with everything else.
He
Yeah,
just
it was.
embarrassed Taco Fall.
I remember like giggling
Yeah,
on my sofa.
Yeah,
It was
we-
just
we had Tyler Parker on. Tyler Parker and Taylor. That night, I was just like, whoever can get on, we've got to talk about this game right now.
yeah.
Oh, that was so funny. Yeah, that was great. Yeah,
Uh,
3
s-
blocks. 3 blocks, over 3 blocks per game.
I'll give that habanero.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
that's probably right. I think that's-
My next one. Tell me what you think about this. Someone other than Lou Dort or Isaiah Joe will lead the Thunder in 3-pointers made. Now, to give you the context for this, last year, Isaiah Joe led the team with 161 threes. Lou Dort was second with 135. In third was Trey Mann with 81.
Yeah.
53 pointers fewer than Lou Dort, who was in
Trey
second.
Man was a wild card.
Yeah, I meant to ask to quiz you guys because see how long it would take you to get Trey Mann was third.
That's a tough one.
So I'm saying someone other than Lou Dort or Isaiah Joe will lead the Thunder in 3-pointers made.
Oh, I think that's decently bold. I think that Mitsic is going to take a lot of threes.
But not in total attempts. 2 minutes probably. I
It-
just
it would
hope he's
probably-
not
maybe,
Dort.
maybe.
Yeah, I don't see him. Even if I'm very high on Mičić in general. I don't see him averaging more than 22 minutes. And I know that Isaiah Joe was gunning in those minutes. Mičić is not like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think he will take like 6
Yeah,
threes in
he's
those 22
fast.
minutes. I think it will be like a 3 or 4. He will shoot it. He's a good shooter. But he will try to do something else with the ball as well. So it's not like, hey, I'm just checking threes.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it is actually pretty bold, but also like, I don't know why you like.
Yeah,
It's going to be Isaiah. But what's like
candidates?
What are you?
It doesn't
like,
matter.
What,
That's not important.
J-Dub,
Shea.
Shea.
mm,
I mean, the way it could work is Isaiah Joe just plays, 15 minutes a game instead of 19 minutes a game. And all
Yeah,
of a sudden, he's taking 4 threes per game, and maybe Shea's also taking 4 threes per game, and they both end up shooting around 40%,
mm-hmm.
and that's how it happens.
Yeah.
Can I say that if this happens, something really good for OKC is happening?
Or Isaiah Joe
Say it.
got hurt.
Or
Yeah, but if it's no Isaiah Joe and no Dort, it means that someone is shooting at high volume for
Yeah.
OKC.
Yeah,
Because even
that
if
is
we are,
kind of like the
that's a
hope underneath
yeah.
this prediction.
yeah, because somehow like Dort will shoot threes when he's on the court, and if he takes less than, well, he might be more efficient, so that might be like him getting a little bit less but shooting a little bit better. So I don't know who that is though.
Doesn't
Bertans.
matter. Just has to be someone else.
Yeah, but Bertans is not going to get minutes.
We just unlock Bertans, and he's the one who supplants Dort in the starting lineup.
Whoa!
No, that's a bold.
And he plays the 2.
And he plays
Like speaking of like these two predictions, like the one that Dort should last, and like if you put Bertans and Dort in a unit, that unit with maybe J-Dub and I don't know, Kayson and Chet and whatever, you take a little bit on defensive side, but you have guys like Bertans and you have Shea on that lineup as well. I think that those lineups can work because Bertans is really a gravity guy, especially if you can mask him a little bit on defense. And I think that with Chet and like playing drop, you can actually do that because you will have like guys open for 3-pointers, and that will happen because Bertans is slow. But on the other end of the court, he creates like so much space. I mean, you can't leave him open, even if he's bad or slow. Like when he takes it outside of the 3-point line, it's an automatic three. Like it's going up every single time. You know that. And so I'm very curious to see how Degnault will use him, if at all, and if you use him with whom. Like I think that is an avenue for guys like Dort to play more because you have other guys spacing a lot for Shea.
Mm-hmm.
And it could be like a good bench unit, like you sub in Dort, you sub in Bertans immediately, and you have a lineup that works. Last year, it was let's play Shea with all shooters because now he needs space because there is no really good shooter except for Isaiah Joe. And so, I mean, those lineups to me will be killer lineups.
Yeah. Okay. My next bold prediction. Victor Oladipo. I'm just kidding. Aaron Wiggins will play the 5th most minutes on the team next year.
I'm so speechless. Like,
why don't this just let it sink in?
So I'm just trying to do the math here in my head. So last year he was 6th.
Last year he was 6th. I think he played like 1,200 minutes.
So he definitely would have been under Kenrich if Kenrich had stayed healthy.
Yes.
So like if healthy, he probably would have been 7th.
7th. Yeah. Yeah, I'm looking at it now too. Yeah, 7th is where he would have been had Kenny stayed healthy.
We're also introducing Chet into this, which doesn't really affect Wiggins' minutes necessarily, but
yeah,
a tiny bit, yes,
a tiny bit.
It will affect the ranking.
Yeah,
Good.
You said top 5.
Top 5.
I actually think it happens a lot. It affects a lot because I don't think Chet will play it. Well, in total minutes, I think that he will be above 1,200. I hope, but NJ will play. I mean, I don't see Chet playing 35 minutes a night, so I can see two centers playing 70 games each, 20 minutes a night.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this would have to be something happening to one of the top 4 guys. Maybe this is another one of your anti-Dort rants, Andrew. Hidden. You've stealthily. This is a Trojan horse Dort prediction because like those guys, the top 4, all played more than 2,200 minutes. So we're talking about like a 900 to 1,000 minute gap.
Mm-hmm.
If we assume that Chet or whoever center is going to play more than what Wiggins played last year, I actually do think this is pretty bold.
Yeah,
so do you want that to happen?
I'm not saying I want it to happen. I just think that I think Wiggins is just really reliable. He's just really steady. When you put him in games, I feel really good about him as the wing. Almost every time that he plays, I just feel good about his defense. I don't think he's not better than Dort as a defender, but he's certainly just a better offensive player. I mean, you look at his shooting splits. I mean, he's 51% from the field.
Yeah, he's extremely efficient.
83% from the free throw line. You know, I just would like, I don't know. I just think that there's a world where we start the season and Aaron Wiggins emerges as like the best wing off the bench.
Wow.
I think that's possible. That's all I'm saying.
Can I be a little bit mean? I'm not sure if this is mean or anything.
Yeah, this is a great time to be mean.
I think that Wiggins is a guy who will keep lineups afloat. Like he will not sink anything. Yeah. He's not the reason why a lineup will be bad. And I think that he is someone that can, again, keep the level of that lineup high because he's giving you something on defense. He's giving you a reliable offense. But I don't see him being a guy who lifts a lineup. So to me, when you say he is a guy that can like be the best wing of the bench, I really struggle with that because I see Kenrich Williams
Yeah.
as a guy who comes into the court, does similar things to Wiggins, but you can tell that the lineup is working because of Kenny on both sides of the court.
Yeah.
Every time he steps on the court, he changes the lineup he plays in. I don't see the same with Wiggins. It's because he's less loud, probably, but even if you see the numbers, I mean, he is rarely a guy where you see like changes of plus and plus minus and stuff like that. I think it's really reliable. Like he's a guy that you can play with anybody and you will get good results. I just see Kenny and others as guys that can really change lineups off the bench for you. And I think that is why you keep Kenrich off the bench, because I think that he's a great change of pace kind of guy where you put him in there. He knows what to do. He knows what to do in that specific game. He's so versatile. I mean, I think that Kenrich is not discussed enough in last season, for example, analysis. The fact that he got injured changed really the season for the Thunder, because he is one of those guys. It's not at Draymond Green level, but he's on the same kind of player type where he knows exactly how to win that game, and he will do it for you. Of course, we're talking about an all-star and one of the greatest connectors in the game in Draymond Green. Kenrich is on a different scale, but he's a similar player. With Wiggins, I don't see the same impact on the game today. Maybe we'll get that in the future.
Yeah. He's also 4 years younger than Kenrich.
Exactly. There's room.
But again, for boldness, I think that there is a world that exists where Aaron Wiggins can take on a bigger role in the NBA and with this Thunder team. I just think that there's always room for like a 6'6", 6'7" wing to come in that shoots it well, that is consistent, and also, frankly, just everybody really likes him.
Yeah.
I was going to give you Packy, but because you said everyone likes him, I'm knocking it down to a Ghost Pepper.
I think that's fair.
I don't think Packy. I don't see that happening. But anyway.
Yeah.
Michele, do you have any more bold predictions?
Not for OKC, no. And my NBA league-wide predictions are so lame that I don't know.
I have one more.
Yeah, I have one more as well. Go ahead, Al.
My final one. Last year, I said that OKC would be top half in three-point percentage, and they finished 17th. Well, I'm diving back in. This year, the Oklahoma City Thunder will be top 10 in three-point percentage. How do you feel about that?
Good. I think that I think that this is spicy because, I mean, doing it's actually difficult. But I see avenues. Like last year, saying, come on, don't play like 35 minutes. We should like 0%.
I know. Basically,
you have a lot of shooters.
Of all, it's about 1 percentage point that they would need to jump, like a full percentage point to get in the range. But you have Case and Wallace, you have Mitchich, you have Chet, you have all these guys, Bertans, you have all of these guys suddenly who, even if they aren't 40% shooters, you feel way better about them than some of the like what we thought about Poku going into last year.
Yeah,
like there is so many more shooters that you are more confident in this year.
Yeah, one of the takes that I had in my mind, and I was too scared to put on the list, was like, okay, so we'll have more than 5 players shooting 40% or more from three. Not like marginal players, not players that take 1.2 threes per game.
Yeah.
5 or more. I don't remember the number that I was trying to get to. So I think that is bold, like saying that OKC will be top 10, but also like not Packy. It probably is a Bonero to me. Like this is something that is difficult, but I can see a real avenue for that to be true.
Doable. Yeah, it's doable.
Yeah. I think Isaiah Joe will shoot 38%, maybe not 40 again. I think that Bertans is at 40%. Shea, I think, can improve. Giddey shot 34.
And honestly,
34
like
after also break. So
do you know who took the most threes on the team last year?
Dort.
Yeah, Dort.
And if Dort isn't taking 409 threes, shooting 33%, and those are getting distributed to other guys, like that's going to
surely hope
boost up
not.
the team too.
Yeah, especially if he takes out some of the type of the three he takes, which are wing trees.
Yeah.
Those are the things that with Team Canada, he was like way more disciplined, and he played like a lesser role, which I think could benefit everyone in this setting.
I disagree. I think it's insanely bold. I just don't think it's going to happen.
Okay.
I think all the guys that we're talking, a lot of the guys we're talking about coming in and shooting really well from three are rookies.
So
They don't have to shoot. I don't think that they will shoot such an important amount. I just think J-Dub will be better. Isaiah Joe, Bertans, Shea, Mitsic.
Yeah.
Rookie.
Those are the guys who will take a good chunk of the, and I think Giddy will be better.
Because you know what's so crazy?
That'd be great.
So like,
happy about all of that.
Lou Dort, 409 threes, 33%. Isaiah Joe, 394 threes, 41%. Trey Mann, 257 threes, 31.5%.
Yeah.
Like he took the third most threes on the team and wasn't good.
Really bad.
In fact, he was basically the worst on the team. He was the worst shooter on the team. The next would be Oos, but he only took 98 threes.
Yeah.
Like
no one shot worse than that was taking that number of threes.
Mm-hmm.
If you told me last year that Trey Mann would have shot like less than 32%,
you'd have quit.
Okay, just.
Hey, also Trey Mann improving.
Yeah, it's not hard to say.
Is that your bold prediction? Is that your final bold prediction?
Final bold prediction: Trey Mann, 6th man of the year. No.
We'd have to invent a new pepper.
Yeah, no. My last one. Oh, this is not even. This is just to irritate you guys. I think Shea will take less threes than last year.
Oh, that would make me.
I can see that.
Furious.
It's pretty bold. It's pretty bold.
He doesn't want to take threes. No, it's not bold. I think I hope it doesn't happen, but I don't see that as I think it's bolder to say that he will take more.
Yeah. Remember when he was taking 2 years ago? I just remember watching him, and he was just taking all kinds of just wild and wacky threes.
Yeah,
it was. And we were like, this is good.
No, this is, I promise. This is good for him.
Yeah.
And he missed so many. He just missed so many shots that year. And then he just came back the next year and was amazing, but just stopped taking threes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's so funny how that shifted. We haven't experienced many players like that who will change their game that dramatically over a summer.
Mm-mm.
Yeah. I mean, Russ, it just felt like it just kept going up. Like there was nothing that was ever going to stop it.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
By the way, my wife is a middle school teacher.
My wife.
And it's early days of school. And she had to do like an about me. And so she was saying how she's from Oklahoma City. And she said, you know, back when I started here, everyone was wearing OKC gear. Do you guys know why? And they all said Kevin Durant. So they all remember Kevin Durant played for the Oklahoma City Thunder, which is great.
Wow.
I mean, these are kids who are, you know, like 10 years old.
Yeah.
And then she was like, does anyone else know why else they might be wearing it? And one kid said, Russell Westbrook. a little punk just hating on Russ because of the lies he's been fed by the mainstream media.
Wow. Mainstream media does it again. That's hilarious.
That's awesome.
Wow. Okay. We're going to stop there for this part of the podcast. Thanks so much for listening. Hope you guys have an awesome day. We'll talk to you guys again on Wednesday. Okay. We'll continue this YouTube video. So if you're watching on YouTube, we're just going to do this next episode. You can watch it too, but this will be the podcast on Wednesday. So here we go. Welcome to Down to Dunk. I'm your host, Andrew Schlecht. We're part of the Athletic Podcast Network. With me still tonight, still in the past, is Alex Spears and Michele Berra. We're going to do part 2. We're going to do some league-wide bold predictions. Maybe if we have time, some over-unders. And then you guys can prepare for the Fry Pod bold predictions before Media Day on Monday. So very exciting times to get the NBA juices flowing. So let's start with some bold predictions. Al, do you have a league-wide bold prediction that you'd like to drop upon us?
Yes, I have 5. And once again, I'm starting from what I consider to be the least spicy, moving up to the most spicy. Number 1, Andrew already spoiled it on Wednesday, so I had to up it.
Oh,
The Cleveland Cavaliers will be the number 1 overall seed. Both conferences.
Noise.
Most wins in the NBA.
this is like jalapeno still. Too.
Yeah.
I just think
I think that the West will have like a lower, like substantially lower.
Gosh.
Yeah, you look
That's
across
fine.
the league, and
That's fine.
who's gonna have like a crazy good record?
Milwaukee could.
They
could.
could, but they're old.
They're old, but they could.
Yeah,
Chris Middleton's healthy, I guess.
I mean Denver could if
Denver
they wanted.
could. They could have like a, when the Warriors came back after their championship, and it still felt like nobody believes in us, and they just come out and destroy everyone.
Yeah,
It wouldn't shock me
I don't see them as that kind of team, though.
if Phoenix was healthy.
I just don't believe it.
If
No,
Phoenix is healthy, they're winning 55 games.
no, but I think that it's saying that it's not like a bell pepper because it can happen that like
There's some spice.
yeah, there's some spice. I mean, we're talking about winning 55 or more, probably.
Probably, yeah.
Probably.
In order to be about like 53, 54, 55. That is not easy to do. Even if like Mitchell, I think will go and have an awesome season. He had like a great post-also break run. So I think that there is a chance for that to happen, but it's not like, hey, I will bet on that. So I think that is either a very spicy jalapeno or a normal habanero, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
While you guys are talking, I'm going to look up and see what the odds are, because that'll let us know how truly spicy this is.
I
Because
think
you can bet on what team wins the.
Okay.
Let's see here.
They just I bet it will end up being spicier than we think it is, because you just don't hear anybody talking about Cleveland.
Yeah.
Did you know you can bet on the state of the winning team?
Okay.
Like California.
Yeah.
California plus 375, Florida plus 900.
You
get those magic odds thrown in there for you.
Yeah. So what's the Ohio?
That would be any other state minus 275. So that's actually
Okay.
because you're getting so many other teams.
Some odds in Ohio, please.
Yeah, give me my Ohio odds. Oh, did you guys know that Mark Daigneault has the best odds for Coach of the Year?
Wow.
I'm just looking at that right now.
I didn't know that.
I mean, it's plus 700, so it's not like he's an overwhelming favorite. But yeah, Spo is second. Joe Mazzulla's third. That's interesting.
Wow.
Huh.
That is very interesting.
Speaking
okay.
of Florida, okay, go ahead.
Hold on.
Where's
Cavs.
that?
I
Yeah.
finally found it. Eastern Conference number 1 seed. Celtics plus 150. Bucks plus 225. Heat plus 475. Sixers plus 650. Cavs plus 750. Actually, if I was going to bet this, I would bet the Knicks at plus 2,000.
Yeah.
With those odds, that's good value right there.
Yeah, that is good value.
Yeah.
They could have a grimy like
I don't kind of
52
agree
season.
with these like numbers. I mean, the Heat will. I mean, of course, that is with a Dane trade. That will change a lot,
Right.
but not. I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't see them as a regular season team in either way.
Yeah. I don't think so either.
Well, that's fine. You guys gave me the jalapeno because that was my first one. I'm
Okay.
happy with that.
Orlando will make the playoffs next season.
Top
Not bad.
6 seed.
I
As a
can
top
say
6
that.
seed. Well, that's how
Bell
you
pepper.
make it spicy, though, Michele.
Bell pepper.
I didn't say
That's
that.
how you go from bell pepper to.
Come on,
to
it's not about pepper.
spice.
Are you betting?
Come on,
to
it's
see
not about pepper.
Orlando in the postseason?
Dude, there's like zero.
Yeah,
spice
I
to
would
that.
actually.
There's zero spice to that.
Okay, then as a top 6 team.
Now there's some spice. Now we're at the
Now there's a
habanero
little
level.
spice.
Yeah,
Mm,
Okay.
that's
I mean,
habanero level.
their over-under is the
That's
fifth
like a 10
worst
team jump.
in the East.
I know, but that's because everyone's stupid.
Yeah, that's dumm.
They'll
Come on,
be a
guys,
500
we just
team.
use odds to say, oh, okay, maybe it's not likely. And now that like that, they have
Okay.
36.5.
No, your odds are stupid. The odds I have, where actually you don't have to tell me what.
They came from you. I looked at the ones that you gave me for the whatever pod we did together. So
Yeah, there's just a lot of there's so many Met teams that could go in different directions in the East, like Toronto, Chicago, Atlanta, Brooklyn. Where are those going? Those were all in the top. Those were 6, 6, 7, and 9 and 10 are in the East last year. I think they could all be below Orlando.
I would agree.
Those teams.
I would say it's very likely they'll be in the play-in, and at that point, them making the playoffs is a coin flip. So that's why I think if you do say top 6, yeah, that's probably habanero.
That's
now they're having
Okay.
to beat out some like legit teams.
let's call it top 6.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's habanero. That's
Habanero.
there's spice there.
I'm
Just
a little bit
workshopped your
bullish
bold
and
prediction.
We'll just note here.
What was
as
it?
Top 6. I'm typing it down.
Oh, you're
Orlando.
making your own notes, okay? Because we will come back to it. Yeah, as long as Markelle Fultz is healthy, they're gonna make it.
Yeah.
If he's not, they'll be terrible again.
Maybe this is prisoner of the moment, but the Pelicans are the 10th or 12th ranked team in the West. They just completely miss the whole thing.
So I don't think that's bold, just because I think you can say that about like 6 different teams in the West.
Yeah.
It happened last year. Like,
And it also happened last year.
Well, they were
So-
10th last year.
you just said 10th or 12th.
11th or 12th.
Okay. So they are missing the playing.
Yeah, missing the plan, just out.
It's
is
one
a
of those
big
things that
boulder.
sounds crazy, but then you look at the other teams and you're like, well, somebody's going to have to be in that spot.
There's some team that's going to be very disappointed at the end of next season. My bet is
Yeah,
the Pelicans.
I have one as well.
And so based on that, I say jalapeno, I guess.
I
But a not very spicy jalapeno.
think that's fair.
One
Yeah,
you can just chomp on.
yeah.
Since we are there,
Uh-huh.
the Clippers will finally completely fall apart next season, meaning they will be like playing or lower.
I'm chomping on another jalapeno. It's going down easy. I'm questioning whether it's a bell pepper, but I swore I bought a jalapeno.
Come on, they have a 46.5 over under. Like I'm saying,
They were the
call, like outside of
preseason
the
number
play-in.
1 Western Conference seed last year.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like meaning fall apart, that the team is destroyed for what we know. Like they will do something crazy, like they will trade guys. It's at some point in the season they'll say, okay, this is not it.
I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility. My next one,
So it's bell
I'll-
pepper, really? Do I need
no,
to
I'll
bump
give
it
it
a
a
little bit?
jalapeno.
I think it's a Pino.
Because like there's only so many more chances before that is going to happen.
Yeah.
Like that
Yeah.
it almost feels like an inevitability. It's just a matter of when it's going to happen.
Yeah.
When does Steve Ballmer just get like so sick of this every single year? Which apparently he was like a few years ago when they lost in the playoffs. I forget which time that was,
Yeah.
when he was like super pissed and just wanted to blow the whole thing up.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be shocked if that happens, especially
Yeah.
now. Like, and now you actually have an out because you don't have to give these guys super huge contracts. Like they're expirings.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, my next one. The reason I said it was going to lead into mine is because I was trying to figure out who was going to be the first coach fired, and Ty Lue was one of the options I was looking at. But
Ty Lue is so good.
I know, but it was more just like if this team blows up, and they're trying to look for a scapegoat.
Yeah.
He's not my choice. He's
Yeah,
not
go ahead. Yeah.
my choice. First coach to be fired. Bold prediction. Jason Kidd.
Is it spicy?
Of the Dallas Mavericks.
Yeah.
Yes, that one. That Jason Kidd.
I mean, you got Kyrie on your team.
You get
This is
Luka.
bell pepper. This is like
really
a bell
low.
pepper dipped in like some kind of like sugar. You know,
It's my jam. It's basically my jam.
this is Michele's jam minus the jalapeno. This is this is basically a peach.
Oh my gosh. A peach.
Yeah.
It's
I think that
That's BS.
if
the
you can bet on
sweetest,
that,
ripest peach.
No.
Jason Kidd
If it's
would
a
be
peach,
like
then
minus.
you huh?
I think that if there are like betting levels for this
Yeah.
would be like something in the minus. Like this is something that is likely to happen.
Yeah.
Come on, we like
He's had multiple stops. He's coaching Kyrie and Luka. You know,
I know. I mean, the reason why I picked him was because I think if you're going to choose a first coach fired, you have to choose a team that has high expectations. Which is why I chose Dwayne Casey last year. And I think if Cade Cunningham doesn't get hurt,
yeah,
and they're just bad with Cade, maybe that would have turned out true. But once Cade got hurt, it was like, who cares? We'll just tank.
yeah.
In this case, I think people are completely ignoring what happened at the end of last season and just think that, oh, Dallas is just going to come back and, hey, they got Luka and Kyrie. They brought in Grant Williams, who I do think was like a good pickup. They brought in Seth Curry, another good pickup. But they were 5-11 with Luka and Kyrie. And they were a bottom 5 defense post All-Star break. I do not think that's changing necessarily. Grant Williams will help a little bit. Seth Curry's not helping. Like, you're asking a lot of guys like Dwight Powell, who did have a nice summer in FIBA. But I think that team, the way they played at the end of last season, wasn't some fluke. I do think that there's like something off about this mix of Luka and Kyrie. And I don't think it's going to work. And I think that they obviously can't, they're not going to trade Luka. They're not going to trade Kyrie because honestly, who's going to trade for Kyrie?
Yeah.
So I think that Jason Kidd, if this all happens, he will be the scapegoat and he'll be the big decision that they make.
I think he could be fired even if they are not as bad. Like I just flat out think he's not a good coach.
Yeah. Yeah. That may be. Okay, fine. Peach. But hey, this peach, I sprinkled some red pepper flakes on it and you guys weren't looking. So it's lighten up my mouth a little bit.
If you say by November, that makes it a little bit more spicy.
Yeah.
If you set a date, that may be
November 11th, 11/11.
11/11.
That is going. That is overdoing a little bit. I guess a little bit too much.
11/11.
I think a bold firing would be like Mike Brown gets fired and the Kings become the Kings again.
No, I was looking at the coaches I was choosing between. I thought Jacques Vaughn was an interesting one because I was looking at their opening schedule and it is really tough. And if they start losing a lot of games and they start feeling any pressure, but on the other hand, I didn't feel like there was enough pressure on Brooklyn this year for it to really matter. I was thinking of Minnesota, Chris Finch. If they get off to a rough start, wouldn't shock me.
Yeah.
Willie Green, like you said, Andrew, if they get off to a rough start, wouldn't shock me. So there are some other options, but yeah, I guess I chose the one you guys all believe in too. So whatever.
Speaking of Mike Brown, the Kings will finish top 4 again next season. So you guys did not believe in my take that I am locking in the Sacramento over under, and I'm doubling down. I just think that there are players. I know about the health stuff, that they were pretty healthy for the entire season. But I think that for some guys like Keegan Murray, there is so much room to grow. He is so efficient and so good in general that I think they will just be a great regular season team, like steamrolling bad teams, having decent chance against good teams because they have shooting. They have a coach that knows how to play defense. That didn't correlate with having a good one last year, but they may be better just because of continuity and sticking to the principle a little bit more. And so I'm just bullish on the Kings. I don't know if this has any spice, but to me, like they are very good. So I'm fine with an jalapeno. I just want to state that I really believe in the Kings.
I kind of consider it like a spicy jalapeno.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because last year was a down year for the West, and
Mhm.
teams that were within 5 games of them were like teams like Golden State and the Lakers and the Suns. Like you could easily imagine any of those, all 3 of those teams finishing higher than Sacramento this year.
Mhm.
Now maybe Memphis falls off, but Denver's still going to be up there likely. And then, a team like the Thunder or the Mavs or the Clippers or like
Mhm.
it does feel right now like the West is going to be more competitive than it was last year. Now there's going to be injuries and that'll all change, but I do think it's got a little spice to it because I think they are an obvious target for like a sophomore slump for a lot of people.
Mhm.
But I kind of agree with you that like what they found offensively last year is, I don't know if it's foolproof, but like at least in the regular season, like that's going to get you the floor of that offense is so high,
Yeah.
and that's going to get you so many regular season wins.
And you have room for improvement. And I think that they have avenues to get better. I mean, we discuss about Bogdanovich. Like he would be a perfect guy to bring back to that kind of team and make things better. I don't think that they will be content in letting the season slip. So I think they will get opportunities. They will take them to improve what they have. And again, I'm not sure that what is the big situation, but I think that they'll have like a lot that they can trade. So I think that they see themselves as a team that is good, but is not finished yet. And so I would not be surprised for them to actually try to improve. Maybe not doing something crazy like mortgaging their entire future, but doing an Aaron Gordon type of trade where they get the player they want that can make the defense a little bit better while not sacrificing offense. So,
Yeah, the West is in such a weird place because you have teams like Phoenix and the Clippers and the Warriors and the Lakers that are all older, and you could see them not being like extremely successful regular season teams, but like still obviously strong teams.
yeah.
And then like you have like your question marks with Memphis and Sacramento and Minnesota and even OKC and New Orleans, where it's like those teams can be anywhere from 2 to 12. Like you just don't know where they're going to be. So there's just a lot of volatility in the West and uncertainty with where all these teams are going to fall. I just have no clue what the order's going to be. So it's definitely possible Sacramento could be one of like the more quote unquote stable teams next season. Like that's possible. They're going to need to be healthy again, and that could happen again. Maybe they just have guys that just aren't going to get injured.
Yeah, I don't read too much into meaning I don't know as much in health kind of statistics. I don't know if teams if there are like just an average level which like natural team will get to, or if there are teams that are just prone to get injured and teams that are not. I mean, Jokic is kind of a healthy player.
Yeah.
Does that change? I don't know. So, I mean, if you play a certain brand of like basketball and you have players that are generally healthy, does that improve your health rate? Like, is this something that it's discussed? I don't know. I never dove into this kind of numbers, so I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's interesting. Okay, we'll stay out west. I think the Memphis Grizzlies are going to be the number 1 seed overall in the Western Conference.
Okay.
I mean, obviously, you're trying to tempt us with Ja's suspension. People down. Grizz, perhaps. I will say I just didn't think it was interesting or bold enough, but I was going to pick the Grizzlies to win the in-season tournament. They just feel like the kind of team that would take that seriously and do well.
To me, it's pretty hot. Like I wouldn't bet like $1 on it.
I'd probably say habanero. I don't
No,
know
I
if
think
I'd go.
it's more than that.
You think it's more?
Oh, I think they are not going to be good.
Oh,
So I would not bet.
hold on. Tell us your bold prediction about the Grizzlies, Michele.
No, I
How
just
bad
don't
are
think.
they
I
going
think
to
they
be?
will be in the playing fight, like between 9 and 6. I think it's way more likely that they end up there than above. Like way more.
So you'd give Andrew a ghost?
Yeah, I mean it's. I think it's pretty spicy. I don't see them being a good regular season team. I know that they have like a reliable, kind of well-known, well-rounded roster, but they have question marks. They lost Dylan Brooks, replaced it with Marcus Smart. Okay, it's not the same. It might be better on some nights, might be similar on others. I think that not having Ja will be damaging. There are some health concern with that roster, like pretty big ones. They have probably three players in the starting unit that are very prone to injuries. So to me, it's really unlikely that they'll have like just a great season. And also like all the talks and like what is surrounding the team right now, it's just not good. So to me, it's just a team
What if
that
I
will
told you they
struggle
have
a lot.
Josh Christopher on their team?
Yeah, that will help.
I just forgot that. I'm a big Desmond Bain guy. I'm a big Triple J guy. I have always loved Marcus Smart. They got Luke Kennard out there bombing threes. But yeah, they've got certainly injury concerns, and
I really think for this
point
to happen,
guards.
they need like almost a full season from Steven Adams.
Yeah, the good thing, I guess, is that Steve-O usually plays really well to start out the season. And that's when they're really going to need him.
Yeah.
Over around there are 120 games between Bain and Triple J.
Over.
Okay.
Over.
You just picked them to be the number 1 seed.
All right. Let's go. Let's go, Grizz. Grit and grind.
That would be like just habanero to me to bet over on that, but okay.
Okay,
just a random number. I don't know.
My next one, I'm predicting a star trade.
And
I'm going to tell you who it is and where they're going.
Damian Lillard to the Heat. Sorry.
Damian Lillard to the Heat.
That is actually involved in one of my later predictions.
Okay.
This one, though, Trae Young will be traded in season.
Traded
to the Brooklyn Nets.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
What's going back to Atlanta? What is Atlanta doing?
Those Suns picks.
Those Suns picks.
It's going to be a big picks-based package.
Oh, they're going rebuild.
Because I don't feel like I do think they're going rebuild. Because if you look at the roster is actually like very young. So I don't think it would be a crazy idea to make that shift right now when your main guys are like AJ Griffin and Okongwu in terms of your future. I think the fit for Brooklyn is obvious. It's like, well, they need a point guard, and if they're not willing to shell that out for Dame because they're worried about his age, Trae Young would make a lot more sense. He'd fit more of the timeline with Bridges. And I also just don't think that Trae has like a ton of value around the league. I think he has enough value where Brooklyn could put together a package, especially with all those Suns picks. But I think it could get to the point with the Hawks where they just want to trade Trae Young, and they're not going to get crazy offers, like a star for star level trade. And so they might have to, if they want to trade him, settle for something like a good pick space package.
Yeah, I think that's bold and spicy and pocky. That's like a pocky nacho platter, I think.
All right. I think
Pocky.
I'm going to get 3 Pockies in a row. I'm just warning
just
you
think
right now.
Why?
For who?
Like, I know this is very, very hot, and this is the reason of the podcast.
Yeah.
But for Atlanta, like you do it, and then you basically are back in last summer mode.
Where are they right now?
But with a worse point guard somehow.
Where are
It
they
would be
right
like-
now, though?
I
Like,
know.
They've won between 41 and 43 games 3 years in a row.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They had that magical Eastern Conference Finals run, which if Ben Simmons is just a normal basketball player, never happens. And also if Joel Embiid just has like a normal game in those last couple of games, like never happens.
Mm-hmm.
And the entire like mythos around this team is based on that Eastern Conference Finals run that was very fluky. They are just a completely mediocre team. They're going nowhere. They're going nowhere with Trey. And
they have a very difficult.
Let me say this. If you're a Buffkin boy, you have to agree with this trade that I am making. We are clearing the way.
Let's
for
go,
Kobe
Buffkin boys.
No, I don't. I think it's too soon to punt. I mean, they made a few moves, which I personally disagree on. Some like I strongly disagree, like trading for Gallo and for Bogey and whatever. But I don't think that like trading now would be because I don't think that you will get a lot for Trae Young. I don't think that you will get fair value right now. He's on the downside. So to me, it's.
But when are you like? You have him signed up 40 million, 43 million, 46 million, 49 million.
Yeah.
Like if you're gonna do it
with 2 years left.
No, I still think there's a perception of Trae Young that is still like positive around the league enough. Like I know that a lot of people don't like him, but I think there are still teams that would make a type of star trade for Trae Young.
God, in year 2, he averaged 29.6 points per game and 9 assists.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In year 2.
Yeah, I think that you have to let it.
That's
wild. They are not in a good spot right now. I would try to do anything else. Like let's fire the coach. Fire the coach.
They just fired the coach. Quinn Snyder.
Again. If it doesn't work, let Quinn Snyder work. If it doesn't work, change another one.
See, that's where I disagree because I feel like they are reaching the end of the line. Like they made the coaching change. They've got rid of John Collins, who by all accounts did not have a good relationship with Trae Young.
We need to see that though. We need to see
if it doesn't work now.
Yeah.
Like at what point do you just say like this guy puts up incredible stats? He's like a very good offensive basketball player, but he is not a winning basketball player, and we're never going anywhere with him. And the Eastern Conference Finals run that made us feel that way has just completely clouded our judgment since then. And we need to try to cut our losses if there's a deal good enough.
You will get a deal good enough in 2 years, I think. If he's still putting up good numbers. I don't know, but okay. It's really bold because I don't think that will happen. So
thank you.
Yeah, it's very bold. This is a like full nacho platter of Pocky.
I'm about to hit a triple of Pocky chips. Just get ready. One after the other. Back to back to back.
How about this one? The 76ers are going to lose in the play-in.
I like it.
I almost considered a very similar one. I almost did miss the playoffs, which I guess this would be that as well.
Yeah, they would miss the playoffs in this scenario and they lose in the play-in tournament.
Honestly, I don't think that's crazy at all because when you think about Embiid, how much of the load has been put on his shoulders the last couple of years as he's part of it like himself putting it on because he wants to get an MVP award. You go into this season where they've lost some depth.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to be if James Harden is playing on this team, if anyone thinks he's not going to be just a total goober out there and being terrible night to night on purpose until they trade him, like you're kidding yourselves. He's not going to come back and be like 85% of even last year's James Harden. He's going to be a mess if he plays on the team.
Yeah.
And so even more of the pressure is going to be on Embiid. And if there's any type of like month-long injury to Embiid, like this team it's just not good. It's not going to be good enough.
Especially at the end of the season. Like I think that this prediction is basically saying, okay, Embiid will miss a huge chunk of the season, which due to the workload that he has, it's not like likely, because if he's there for one game, they will have like a good chance to be in the playoffs and be out of the play-in. But still, it's reasonable. I can see that happening, but it's not likely. So I think that this has some spice, but also some, I would say, very good. Like it can happen.
It's either a mild habanero or a spicy jalapeno.
Yeah. Are you ready for a bell pepper take?
Yes.
Yeah, give me a bell.
Someone will win Rookie of the Year.
That's
Not-
peach.
Wait,
It's
what is it?
Scoot Anderson will win Rookie of the Year.
This is just a prediction.
It's a prediction. I don't know why I wanted to. I don't know. I know. I said it in advance. I know.
Peach.
That's like
Unanimous.
it's a peach
Anonymous.
tree.
Is it
just
anonymous? Is it
constantly
unanimous?
growing peaches.
If it's unanimous,
Yeah.
does that add something?
No, I mean I could say
Come on.
something else right now. Like LeBron James will be awesome this year.
No. I
That's
said
spicy peach.
like he will get just number one votes.
Okay. I know that unanimous MVP. There's been a couple. How many unanimous Rookie of the Years have there been?
I don't know.
5 players: Ralph Sampson, David Robinson, Blake Griffin, Damian Lillard, and Karl Anthony Towns.
Come on, that is spicy. That doesn't
Okay, if
happen.
it's unanimous,
give
I'll
me a
give
bit.
you a.
I'll give it a habanero if it's
I'll give
unanimous.
jalapeno.
Okay.
The only reason that it might probably be a jalapeno is just like, well, actually no, it's back at habanero because I was thinking of the games played thing, but it doesn't apply to the Rookie of the Year award.
Oh, okay.
So we're good. Yeah, that's habanero now. But yeah, if he won Rookie of the Year, it'd be like a big.
Okay. Okay. So we're working through that. Again.
Okay, you ready for my next one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, I've already guaranteed 3 Pockies in a row. Here's number 2. The Utah Jazz finish ahead of the Dallas Mavericks, the New Orleans Pelicans, the Minnesota Timberwolves, and the Los Angeles Clippers.
Whoa. Yeah, that is like.
And here's
Have
my
you
basic pitch.
Have you seen the trash can nachos at Guy Fieri's restaurant?
No.
They bring them in a like a little like bucket, and then they turn
yummy.
it over onto this plate, and then they lift it up, and then all the nachos are just it's that. It's that.
Yeah. I would say that this is maybe not the highest, but close.
Okay.
I just see those teams being bad, though. Like I just see the Wolves being terrible. The Clippers.
See,
I predicted they
that's
will
kind of
fall
my
apart.
thing. Like the national perception is that there's this huge gap between those 4 teams and Utah, especially when you look at like the over-unders. It's like a 10-game gap. And I just don't think the gap is that significant. I think what Utah did at the end of the season, as like they started to attempt to tank all the way down to the 9th spot,
Mm-hmm.
I think it made people forget about how good that team was, especially as like just a regular season, like really good system, can beat any teams that aren't prepared for them. They're just going to kick their ass every single night. I think people forget about that. And so the things that could work against me is they do have some young guys, and they could play their young guys more than I'm anticipating, and young guys generally aren't good. But I think that there's enough of a foundation there where there's really not that big of a gap between Utah and some of these other teams in the West.
Oh, to me, there's not. The point is intention. Like, what's the team's goal?
But see, at this point, like they have a top 10 protected pick, so they have to kind of go one way or the other.
Exactly. The point is guessing which way will that be. How many games?
And I would say trading for John Collins is not necessarily deciding to tank. There's other things they could have done this summer that would have been more suggestive of like, this is going to be another whatever year. I mean,
Yeah.
they could still go that way. And I think that there's going to be enough time for them to decide to do that, where they're going to kind of, in the same way that OKC did last year, like they're going to give this team a chance to declare itself. And I just wouldn't be surprised if this team is like the 6th seed in December. and all these other teams are struggling, and it's like, oh, the Jazz are good again.
My reason for like continuing to just be crazy spicy is like, who's their point guard?
You got a lot of options. First of all, Andrew,
I know.
Trae Young, apparently.
You know what? I actually that was my original thing until I remembered that they had traded for John Collins, and then I was like, oh, I can't do that. Okay, you got Colin Sexton, Andrew. You got Taylor Horton Tucker.
Yeah.
You got you got trade candidate A, who they could bring in.
Clarkson.
Keontae.
Yeah.
Keontae George, starting point guard.
There we go.
They got Frank Jackson.
Do they really?
I think they do on their training camp roster.
Yeah.
Again, I don't know if this actually happens. I just think that these teams are
Chris Dunn.
closer than the over-unders would have you believe.
Yeah.
I don't agree with that.
You think they're significantly worse than those other teams?
Yeah.
They were significantly better than most of them last year.
I know they were. When they were actually trying, they were significantly better than a lot of those teams.
Yeah, they are extremely
they were killing
good coached.
teams.
I know, but they traded Mike Conley and Jared Vanderbilt, and like those guys were really helpful to them during that stretch when they were really good.
You're just, you know what you are? You're a hater of Walker Kessler, and it comes out every episode.
Yeah.
Everyone knows that you hate him.
I'm not a hater. I'm just like
a kind of hating.
I'm just grounded. I'm just like grounded.
It's our entire draft philosophy, like just on our face. So
yeah, I think the Jazz are going to be bad.
Okay.
Or no, I don't think they're going to be bad. I think they're going to be in the in-between zone.
Yeah.
I just think they make so much more sense night to night than these other teams. These other teams, you're just betting on the talent, which is fine. But
on your take, you're just betting on Mini to be a disaster, which I think it's a fair bet, but also betting on the Pelicans being extremely unhealthy again, which is, again, a bet that you can make.
Yeah. How about this one? The Minnesota Timberwolves win the in-season tournament, but miss the playoffs.
Whoa! So they actually would have to win a lot of games just to win.
It's so early in the season. It's so early in the season.
Yeah, I know.
There's still a lot of time for things to fall apart.
But they have to go bare.
The thing is, here's how it happens: is that they feel like they've reached the mountaintop, and then they
rest on their laurels.
They rest on their laurels, and then they just crumble as the season goes on. It's the disease of me or disease of more or whatever it is that exists within the locker room after they win this in-season tournament that they just fall apart because Towns thinks that he's the guy, and then Edwards is like, no, I'm the guy, and then Gobert is like, no, me.
I mean, Timberwolves fans would tell you if they just have like a little bit better health, like things would look a lot different because Cat was out for so long.
He was out for
last year.
Time. Yeah.
And they didn't get Mike Conley. What?
Do you think it's going to be better if everyone is healthy there? I don't know.
They signed Vít Krejci.
Yeah, they did sign Vít Krejci.
That's spicy.
And Dacian Nix. How's Dacian Nix still in the NBA?
Even Rockets fans thought he sucked.
He was really bad. I've watched him in person twice last year and could not believe that he was playing.
They were so mad because like he was theoretically playing the minutes that they wanted Ty Washington.
Totally. Ty should have definitely been playing those minutes.
Well, I don't know. Like Mike Conley, Anthony Edwards, Kyle Anderson, Cat, and Gobert. Like that's a pretty solid.
Sounds like a team in season tournament to me.
And then you potentially have the Nickeil Alexander Walker breakout. Hello. Luka Garza breakout.
Hello.
Hello. I don't know if he's on the team anymore. Oh, he's a two-way. Okay.
Yeah.
Luka Garza. Wow.
And Jaden McDaniels. I mean, they've got a decent team. Nasri.
Yeah.
They go like 7 or 8 deep of guys I like.
Well, I'm not.
You know how much I love Nasri on that team. So.
Yeah, right.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
Hey, Can you imagine they can put in the same lineup 3 guys that are centers, 3 guys, and that would be putting 3 of their best 6 players in a lineup. That is why they will never ever work.
No one's doing that.
Yeah, well,
It's so hard to find a cat trade. Like I really went through trying to figure out a cat trade. I got nothing.
Cat for Trae Young.
I know that was like Bill Simmons said that, and I was like, yeah, I guess like it kind of makes sense. I kind of like Cat next to Okongwu.
Yeah,
I don't hate it.
Why do you want to put like 2 centers? Like I don't know what is this obsession with putting like 2 centers on the same, like free Cat. Put some wings that can put Vanderbilt, which by the way they had it. They had him. Put like players that can defend, but not other big tall guys around them.
Mm-hmm.
I really like. To me, he has to be free. He has to take a lot of trees, and there should be a team around him that runs and defends to a high level. They had the perfect idea of team. They just need to be a little bit patient and find a very good wing, Aaron Gordon-like, to put alongside him and Edwards. And they massively screwed up.
And they took Leonard Miller in the draft.
I like him. Well, Andrew, I think because both of those things individually, not that spicy, but both of them happening in the same season,
Yeah.
Pretty spicy.
Yeah.
I'd say Ghost Pepper, if not Packy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Michele, do you have any more?
No, I'm out. I had 4.
Okay, I'll do my final one. I promised you 3 Packy in a row. Final bold prediction. The Miami Heat will trade for Damian Lillard and miss the playoffs.
Yeah, that's Packy. That would be amazing.
And honestly, it's not that crazy.
It's not that crazy. Yeah.
If they're going to make a deal, as people think is about to happen, Gambo said within 24 hours, I think it's going to cost them a lot of rotation players. They've already lost a lot of rotation players. This has the potential to be an incredibly thin team. And as good as Spo is, this isn't the Suns, who we also think were very thin, but at least had the entire summer to fill in those back into the roster spots with decent guys. Like, the other part of it is that, similar to Phoenix, like, you're dealing with older players. Jimmy Butler, he misses at least 20 games every year. Bam was out a little while. Dame has had his injury issues. Like, one of those guys has an injury and this entire thing collapses. Mm-hmm. I just think that I get why they would do it, obviously. Like, Dame was when Dame was playing last year, he was legitimately like a top 10 player. So I understand why you would do it. But they're going to be so thin for this season, and they're not going to have any assets left to make additional trades, that I think it is a house of cards waiting to tumble. It could all work out, but I think there's a large downside that people aren't acknowledging.
Yeah, I think that's still really spicy.
It's very spicy. I know. I promised.
It's basically betting on one of the 2 guys going out for a significant time.
Which
I didn't say it, and that's not what my bet was about.
No, I don't think that I don't think that there is actually any possibility for Miami to miss the playoffs if they both play 70 games more.
They're not going to play 70 games or more. That's already impossible.
Even 65.
That's already impossible. Keep going lower.
Really?
Yeah.
40.
Jimmy Butler played 64, 57, 52, 58, 55. Those are his last 5 seasons.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. 120.
He could miss 30 games, and that'd be totally within what he's done the past 5 years.
Yeah.
You're
and
right.
He almost didn't make the
They were 5 minutes away from being knocked out by the Bulls.
If the Bulls didn't crap the bed, they would have been out of the playoffs.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, Damian's very good.
This is their Gallo trade, okay? This is the equivalent of the Hawks trading for Gallo, the Heat trading for Dame.
No,
Dame is
but
Gallo.
okay.
Yes.
I'm still
They won
now. I'm
40
laser
they
focused
won
on Minnesota.
44 games last year. They won 44 games.
Yeah,
They had a negative point differential.
They did.
yeah.
Now they're adding Dame again. He's amazing.
He's
But
amazing.
At this point, they would have lost Max Strus, Gabe Vincent. They'd likely lose Tyler Hero in this deal. Even if you don't love any of those guys, those were huge minutes eaters for the Heat.
Yeah, I
last
know,
year.
but Dame, Bam, like,
They're good at finding weird depth pieces too.
yeah,
It's going to run out one day.
yeah. Well, yeah.
Let's see.
It all depends who they have to give up. Like if they really do sell the farm, which would be like Tyler Hero, Caleb Martin, Jovic.
Yeah,
Like if those three are off the team, like who is left?
Haywood Highsmith.
You need Duncan Robinson to all of a sudden be as good as he was in the playoffs, even though the team like didn't trust him at all during the regular season last year.
Yeah, they brought back Josh Richardson.
Who cares?
I
I heard somebody getting excited about
Cole
Josh
Switter.
Happy birthday though to Josh Richardson, just turned 30.
Nice. Happy birthday.
Also,
Justin
Trae Young.
Champagny.
His birthday was 2 days ago. I learned 25. Happy birthday.
Yeah, Thomas Bryant is on this team. Did you know that?
Ugh.
Yeah, that's
He's that piece. Come on, decent.
Who cares? They got Justin Champagny. Should have gotten the other one.
Mhm.
The other
Yeah,
Champagny
the one
brothers
you
better.
didn't allow me to protect in our expansion draft. But go ahead.
Shout out to Julian,
Yeah, that's pretty good.
member of the Guyman guys.
They got somebody named Jamare Bouye. That's a cool name.
That's a cool name.
Okay,
Listen.
I have one last bold take.
Yeah, go bold.
Russell Westbrook will win
Oh,
Sixth
no.
Man of the Year.
Oh my god.
Thanks for
Is he
marking
not
this.
starting?
No,
Why not?
because they're going to get James Harden.
Oh. Interesting.
Yeah, that is even bolder than mine last year, which was already so stupid. But
Sixth
okay.
Man of the Year. Russell Westbrook. Feeling good? Feeling spicy? Feeling bold?
Feeling bold, like pretty bold.
We're getting an update on Michele's pick last year. This is breaking. Russell Westbrook did not play at an All-Star level last season. We just found that out
I
live on the
literally just said that, but yeah,
pod. Well,
I
you
just
must
said
have
it
been the
was
source
so
on that.
stupid.
That was my favorite one, though. That's what bold predictions are all about. You were feeling it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was actually into that. Like I thought, okay, maybe like change of scenery, maybe like doing like playing with PG a lot. That will unlock like good Russ for at least a decent amount of games. And people say, see, it was LA. It was the other part of LA. It's Russ can be good with Paul George. And no. And definitely
And no.
no.
Part of it is like that makes it possible for me is that the Sixth Man of the Year pool was so weak last year. Like it was Emmanuel Quickly and Bobby Portis and Malcolm Brogdon won it. And he's like super duper pissed about his everything with the Celtics right now.
Yeah.
I think it's up
Lou
for
Dort
grabs.
will be in the pool next year. So we are
Wow. Dort, that's a bold one. Dort wins Sixth Man of the Year. But Russ is going to put up big stats. And if the Clippers are just like a good Western Conference team, let's say they're like the 5th seed, and
You could see it becoming like a very hipster pick. Like, like at first it starts out as kind of a joke, like Sixth Man of the Year.
yeah,
And then as the season goes on, people become like more serious about it.
we actually,
And then it just becomes like a self-fulfilling prophecy. Like it doesn't even matter what he does at the end of the season.
yeah.
It's just we already decided.
Yeah, somebody photoshops the Sixth Man of the Year trophy into Kevin Durant's hand, and you see Russell in the back, peering at it.
We can already do all the tweets. We can do them right now.
Yeah, it's easy. You can just book this one. Maybe this is a peach too. It's just gonna happen.
It's a wild ride. Like I want to be on the same stuff you are on right now. Like to see all these like images and like this future that you're describing. Like it's amazing. Like,
Well,
I just see like all these dimensions in front of me, and I can just imagine
Yeah.
them so quickly.
it
Just
was
the
my
multiverse.
dream last year, but that's I mean,
You didn't believe hard enough.
that's right.
And that's why.
That's probably right. I mean, I would love Russ to have a good season. I would really love that because I think that he sacrificed everything, his career probably, for that useless and meaningless MVP season. Which, I mean, it's going to be.
Why are you saying useless and meaningless? What are you talking
I
about?
mean, it's in the grand scheme of things, it's seen as we all knew that was he should have not win that MVP, and this is the narrative.
Oh, I think that's just a bunch of that's hogwash, man.
I don't think that, but this is like the big broad view on Russ's career. Like that year was
Some people, not everybody thinks that way.
yeah, it's the majority, but and then it's just
majority. I don't think that's a majority.
yeah. It was at the time, so now it's more. So I don't know. I just feel that he is often too skewed from the past few years, and it would be great to have just a normal season. But I don't think that he will allow for a normal season. Like I don't know. It's a pipe dream to see Russ having like being in control, just good, just like doing the things that he can do well for an entire year. See, I still have it on me. But it's a pipe dream, I think.
Can't wait to see him. I hope he gives a speech. It's going to be really good. I can't wait. Okay, so that's the bold takes from the Monday and Wednesday crew. Hope you guys are having a great week so far. We will be back with bold predictions from the Fry Pod crew on Friday, and then Media Day is Monday. It's here, and we have some really fun content planned for you guys. So be sure that you're subscribed to our YouTube channel. If you haven't done that, please go to youtube.com and search Down to Dunk and hit subscribe to make sure you don't miss any of the exclusive YouTube content. I hope you guys have an awesome day. We'll talk to you guys again on Friday.